Alright, today, DAZA. Today is Monday, May 30, 22 obviously. Alright, need to do some jobs. Before I start with the block, have to get some measurements from the cylinder head. I wrote here 6,000 units, it's the stretch of the bolts. It's supposed to be between 5 and 7. My target is 6. And I wrote it here just in case to don't forget it. Alright. Standing by the block, because I have to measure each piston, how much higher it comes than the deck. It's important, if you're asking me, to see the compression ratio. Cylinder head, installing the spark plugs and the fuel injectors, that I have it here. As far as I know, and as far as I can see, the spark plugs looks like a brand new. I didn't mess with the gap whatsoever. Fuel injectors, here I just block this the inlet of the fuel injector, just in case don't fail something there. I have to wash at the end also the fuel rail, because it's not being washed. Okay, now what's my plan? Installing fuel injectors, installing fuel injectors, installing spark plugs. Give me a break, it's morning and now I'm drinking coffee. On the cylinder head, and then get the volume of the combustion chamber to see where are we. I have already crushed head gasket. I have it here. Nice, I can measure it. I measured it before, but I didn't write it down. It was before I make rough measurements. Now I'm gonna make a little bit more precise measurements to see how much compression ratio has each cylinder. It's important on the bone stock application, doesn't matter. I have mentioned that before, I'm gonna mention that again. I'm repeating myself, I know, but I don't remember in which video I said that before. What's happening? When you're going higher on the boost, higher on the ignition timing, and then you're trying to squeeze, let's say, the last horsepower, you don't want, let us say, to see the number 2 and 3 cylinder retarding, let us say, a couple of degrees and all the rest to be okay. Alright, plus I'm gonna verify that the resurface of the cylinder head, I can measure it external to see how much it is. Just in case, because they machine also the combustion chamber, to see that all the cylinders are equal. You don't want to have variables, you don't want to have, let us say, how much. Anything more than 2 ml, it's critical. It's critical from the point when you are reaching, when you have an aggressive tune, when you're trying to squeeze the last horsepower. It's the same thing, the tuners will understand what I'm saying. Imagine, let us say, to see the number 2, number 3 cylinder, or number 4 cylinder, or any of the cylinders, to start retarding when all the rest are okay. I don't know if it makes sense to everybody else. It is what it is. Usually I'm not doing this on camera. For the specific customer, for the specific engine, and for the next engine that they touch the cylinder head, I have to do it on camera. So that's the plan for today. You saw before that to install the crankshaft and the pistons, I spent more than a day. This is because of the measurements. Okay, the crankshaft is straightforward. It's a brand new crankshaft. The engine block does have more than 10,000 kilometers. It's a fresh block. I just verified with the plastic cage. That's okay. And it is okay. I was not expecting something less than this. Even if I put it in, with my eyes closed, still gonna be fine. Just only for the color bearings, to see that it has the same clearance in all of the journals, I use a plastic cage. It's a very fast method and it's nice. It's accurate because I have done this 1 million times. It's not the first time that I'm using plastic cage. Alright? So, well, where was I? Yeah, the pistons, you have to adjust the pistoning gap. You cannot keep it as it was, especially the second one, it was 0. The first one or the second one? The first one was 0. You have to get the weight to make it as close as possible to all of them. And then we are reaching at this point to move on to see what's going on. The deck, by the way, the deck is never been resurfaced. Okay? I think that I mentioned that before. It's never been resurfaced, the deck. The cylinder head is a different story. And if you see, let us say, one piston that comes more higher than the other, this has effect with the compression height of the piston, where it's located the wrist pin, to the top of the piston, has to do also the connecting rod. I'm gonna check after torquing down the connecting bolts, then I'm gonna check how much out it comes from the deck. You're gonna see on the video, step by step. Again, it's not for a daily use, and it's not, let us say, it's this sensing, it's a little bit different. It's for competition, if you like. Let's start. Alright, ready to get some measurements. Vaseline, transmission oil, ready. One note, one thing that I want to mention is the spark plug, where is located the gap, the small pin of the spark plug. For stock application, once again, for stock application, it doesn't have any effect. You're gonna be fine. When you're pushing to the limit, there is effect. You see on these two cylinders, looks identical. This one and this one and this one, it's completely different, the position of the spark plug. So, in any case, you can fix also this one, but forget it for now. Let's see the volume, how it's gonna be. Pen and paper. Let's start. Alright, at this point we are looking at 48 cc. 48 cubic centimeters, just. Alright. One second, put back in place. Stay where you are. Let's write it down. Let's move on to the second one. Alright. Jumping to the next one. A little bit Vaseline, classic. Setting it up to 0 again. I suck for some fluid because it's slightly tilted, so the bubble to come here, to come in the center. I suck a little bit, so when I'm gonna open it, I'm not gonna spread it everywhere on the cylinder head. Continue with the rest. I'm gonna tell you the final results when I'm gonna reach at the last one. 48.3, and with two small bubbles inside. There's one here, one there. It's tiny, okay, but if I remove it, it's gonna be 48.3. 48.3, right? Yeah. Let me write it down. Continue to the next. I'm gonna give you the final results at the end. Next one. 0. Let's go. 48.1. I have to put something behind to have a contrast, so to be able to read it better, right? Yeah. How much I said? 48.1, yes. So we have 48, 48.3 and 48.1. 4, once again at 0. I said, okay, let me skip, I'm gonna show you one and then the last one. Screw it, since I went up to the 3, another 2, right? Have the head gasket over there, I get some measurements for the volume of the head gasket earlier. 48.2. Last one, 0. And the last one, it's at 48.2 ml. Give me a second to take care about this mess. Wrap it with nylon because I have to continue the block. Okay, time to storage the cylinder head again. It's been cleaned with a brake cleaner to don't have a transmission oil on it. Clean paper. Let's wrap it and continue with the block. Finish with the connection bolts. It's been torqued down, it's been stretched properly. Let's make it upside up and check now each cylinder, the piston, how much out it comes. I get the measurements, I put it down the paper, I cover it with nylon again because I have to go also for a lunch break, so I'm gonna come back within an hour. Cylinder head here with a nylon. Alright, let's calculate a couple of things. Actually, let me tell you this. Cylinder bore 82.5, stroke 92.8. Alright, volume per cylinder 496.07 cubic centimeters. Piston volume on the paper it's 4.5. When I measure it with this one, because I believe that they're calculating only this, only this here without the cut relief. I might be wrong in any case. So I found 5cc, on the paper it's 4.5. It's not precise the measurement what I did. I found 5 and a little bit more, but let's call it 5cc. Nice and round number. Combustion chamber, the volume of each combustion chamber, it's 48 cubic centimeters, 48 cc, and it can go 0.3, 0.1, 0.2, 0.2. Head gasket, the diameter it's 83.5 millimeters. The thickness after crushing the head gasket is 1 millimeter. The volume is 5.47 cubic centimeters. Okay, the deck, cylinder number 1 comes out by plus 0.37 millimeter, cylinder number 2 0.36, 36, 34 and 33, the number 5, the last one. Let me see 2-3 things, and then I'm gonna predict the future. I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna happen in the future. We're gonna try to tune it. Alright, now the results. With my measurements, I found cylinder number 1 8.78 to 1, number 2 8.72, 3 8.75, 4 8.72 and 5 8.71 to 1 compressor ratio. That's the static compressor ratio. Okay. If I have to guess, the number 1 has the higher compressor ratio by 0.07 if you compare it with the number 5 that has the lower. So the cylinder number 1, it might complain when you reach at the limit. If let us say, if I have to guess which cylinder you're gonna retard, let us say first, when you reach on the limit with the ignition timing, you're gonna be the number 1. Because again, this is what I have mentioned this 1 million times. It's like some people they're saying, okay, why it failed, let us say the number 2 or the number 3 or the number 1. Because when you go down, you get the answer. When you do your homework, I have mentioned that also on the MA57, on the MA56, in all of the engines. It's the same thing. So it's not exactly the same, the compressor ratio. It's not exactly the same, let us say, the cylinder, if it has some run out. Some cylinders have less run out, some other has more run out, for example. Or if you don't make exactly, let us say, the piston ring gap, again, I'm exact by 0.01 of millimeter, by 100 of millimeter plus minus. If you go to 1,000 of millimeter, you're gonna be all over the place. It's all about pressures. It's all about temperatures. This is all about. Okay. So that's what we have between 8.7 to 8.8 to 1. That's it for now. Later on, I'm gonna show you the rest. Maybe I'm gonna upload this video. I'm gonna stop this here, and yeah, much better. Do it this way, right? Yeah. So don't be huge video. That's it for now. Next part later.